Welcome all. In this session, we are going to discuss about the grading of aggregates. Okay. Before entering into this topic, we should know what is meant by grading. What is meant by gradation of aggregates. Okay. The particle size distribution of aggregates is known as gradation of aggregates, which means how much the depending on the size, how much quantity of particles is present in a chosen sample. That indicates the gradation of aggregate. Okay, so you'll be taking some 100 grams of sample. It may be a fine aggregate or coarse aggregate. Okay, in that sample you will be having different sizes of particles. You cannot say that all the 100 grams are on the same size. Okay, if it is so, it comes under uniform gradation. It cannot be a good gradation. It cannot be used for making concrete and all. So you have to check this gradation, which is very important in the property of workability and strength of the concrete. Okay, so that is very important because water cement ratio influences the strength of the concrete and also the workability of the concrete. We all know about it. Okay, previous in the previous point itself, I told you that there will be different sizes of particles. Okay, so the higher sizes will be making some voids in the sample. So the smaller sizes of particles will be filling those voids. Okay, if the smaller particle size are absent, means what happens? The requirement of cement paste will be higher for making the concrete. This causes Azotus effect. Okay, this makes the concrete uneconomical, and it also causes some other undesirable properties in the concrete. Okay, good grading means it implies that the sample of aggregate should contain all standard fractions of aggregates in a specified proportion, so that there should be only minimum voids present in the sample you have chosen. Can you understand? Good grading of aggregate means whenever you are taking that sample, say for example you are taking some 100 gram of sample, means in that 100 gram of sample every size of the particle should be covered, so only it can be densely packed. Not densely, somewhat it can fill the gaps. There will be only minimum voids. So the requirement for the cement paste will be lesser. So we have to prefer good grading, means there should be minimum number of voids. This happens only when the particle size are in different sizes. Okay, the particle size in the chosen sample should be in different sizes. That is called good grading. Okay, to compute this grading curve for aggregates, we are using one method called sieve analysis. We have discussed about the sieve analysis in determining the fineness of the cement. Okay, okay, based on the size distributions, there are 5 different kinds of size distributions are there. One is dense graded, second one is well graded, gap graded, uniformly graded, and the last one is open graded. Okay, you can see the curve on this image. The image shows the well graded picture. Okay, well graded curve is shown in this left side picture, which means if it is a well graded aggregate, means it will cover all the sizes of the aggregate. That is called good gradation of aggregate. You can see here there are different sizes of different particle size are mentioned on the x-axis. Okay, so it is covering all the sizes of the aggregator. So it will be in the shape of S, extended S. So when you take dense grade also, it can be also used for making concrete. Okay, this is also preferable for making concrete. This both well graded and coarse graded you can use for making concrete. Next thing is gap graded. If you say what is mean by gap graded, means if this curve starts here, means it will be like this, it will be like this, and again it will be like this, which means in this region it's not getting all the different sizes, it's not covering all the sizes of the particles. Okay, it's coming like this, and then here what's happening means it is covering only one portion, it's not covering this portion. It should be like this. If it is like this, means if it is like means it is well graded, because it is covering all the sizes of the particles. if suppose it's like this, means in specified region it's not covering the particle sizes, so it is a gap graded. There comes some gap. Okay, some of the particle sizes will be missing, so this is called gap grading. Okay, you may ask what is mean by gap grading, that we have discussed now. Okay, what happens because of this gap grading means there will be some undesirable properties as seen before. It can be used for only low workable concrete. If the workability of the concrete is required is low, means we can go for gap graded. Okay, if you need high workability mixes, means you cannot use this gap graded because it causes segregation. Can you follow me? Just make a note. If it is of low workability concrete, means you can use this gap graded aggregate. It does not cause any effect. If it is a high workability concrete, means you cannot use the gap graded because it causes some undesirable property like segregation in the concrete. Okay, next we shall discuss about the uniform grade of, uniform grading of aggregates. Okay, in this uniform grade of aggregates, means what happen means it will be uniform. The particle sizes will be uniform. Say for example, if you are taking a sample of a fine aggregate, if it is 100 gram, means the most of the particle size will be in only one size. Like for example, if I am taking some 2.36 mm, means all the particles will be, that is most of the particles will be in the size of 2.36 mm. It will not cover all the sizes of the aggregate. This will also cause some harshness in the cement paste. So how the curve will be like means it will be like this. You can see here, it is covering some one particle size here. It will be like this. It will be like a straight line. This is called uniform grading of aggregate. Okay. Here what happens means it dominates, the few sizes will dominate the bulk material, that is we have discussed already. Only the specified sum of the particle size will be more. Okay, this will cause ineffective packing of the aggregate. Okay, if the packing is not effective, means what happens, there will be more number of voids. Obviously there will be, it becomes porous. The concrete itself become porous, so that it requires more cement paste. Okay, so this is not a good method. This is not a good gradation to be adopted. Next, coming to the open graded. Open graded means it contains smaller particles. This is something similar to uniformly graded. In uniformly graded, what happens means most of the particle size will be in one size. Okay, say for example, it may be 2.36 mm, 4.75 mm, like that. There are different sizes of the particles. Okay, in uniform graded, what happens means any one size will be higher. It may be anything. It may be a 4.36 or 2.36 or 4.75 mm. We don't know that. Okay. Whereas in open graded, what happens means it contains the too much of particles having smaller size. So in this we have discussed about 4.75 and 2.36 mm, means that 2.36 mm will be larger in quantity compared to that 4.75. There are some other small fractions of particle sizes are also there. Okay. Now, for example, we are discussing this of 4.75 mm and 2.36 mm. This 2.36 mm of particles will be more. That is, the least size of particles will be more in the taken sample. That is called open graded. This will also causes pores in the concrete. Okay, and it is disturbed, and the concrete structure will get disturbed. Okay, so we have discussed that to find the grading of aggregate, we are using one test called sieve analysis. Okay, you all know what is meant by sieve analysis. It is nothing but the process of splitting the sample of aggregate into different fractions. Okay, that each fraction will contain a different particle sizes that should be of same size. We are just splitting the you will be taking some amount, some sample of aggregate. It may be a coarse aggregate or fine aggregate. Okay, so you will be splitting it. You will be dividing the sample into various fractions. Various fractions means the particle size of each fraction will be different. Okay, so for sieve analysis for fine aggregate, you will be using some smaller pan. It will be like this, which is shown in the left side image. Okay, it will be like this. Whereas for coarse aggregate, you will be using some bigger pan. The size of the pan will also vary, and also the sieve size will also vary with respect to fine aggregate and coarse aggregate. The sieve analysis can be done in two methods. One is we can shake manually. Okay, it won't be much effective. So we are going for another one mechanical device called a sieve shaking machine. Okay, how it will be means the sieve should be placed in your order so that the smaller size should be in the bottom portion and the a larger size of the particles should be placed in the top portion. You should place the sieve in such a manner. Okay, like if the sieve size is 4.75 mm, if you are taking for coarse aggregate, it will be easy to understand. For example, the sieve contains different sizes. Okay, the sieve pan contains different sizes. If it is 80 mm pan means it should be placed in the top of the series. Okay, if it is 40 mm means it should be lower to that 80 mm. Next to 20 mm, in the below 20 mm you should place that 4.75 mm. This is the procedure you have to place the sieve. So the bigger sieve size should be placed at the top, and the finer and the smaller sieve size should be placed in the bottom of the series. Okay, and also you should note one more thing. The purpose of this sieve analysis is also to find the fineness modulus of the aggregate. It may be a fine aggregate or coarse aggregate. It determines the fineness modulus of the aggregate. Okay, grading pattern of a sample of coarse aggregate and fine aggregate is assessed by sieving. Okay, how they will be sieving means they will be sieving a sample successfully through all the sieves mounted one over the other in the order of size. Order of size we have told before itself that the larger size will be placed in the upper portion and the smaller size of the sieve will be placed in the bottom portion. Okay, they will be passing the sample at the top from the top. Okay, after shaking, what happens means it will go to the bottom. So that only they are mentioned here as they will be sieving a sample successively. Successively means one after another. Okay, with a large size on the top. The material retained on each sieve after your shaking is that represents the fraction of aggregate coarser than the sieve in below and finer than the sieve above. Okay, you will be sieving. You will be sieving the fine aggregate or it may be a coarse aggregate. Okay, after shaking, what happens means some material will be retained. Okay, that retained material shows that it is coarser than the sieve size below that pan. Okay, and it is finer than the sieve size above that pan. Okay, that is the thing you should infer from this point. Next, they have given the fineness modulus range for the fine aggregate. Okay, for fine aggregate, they are splitting the fine aggregate into three. One is fine sand, medium sand, and coarse sand. For fine sand, the range will be from 2.2 to 2.6. Medium sand, it is 2.6 to 2.9. And for coarse sand, it is 2.9 to 3.2. So, generally, they will be stating the fineness modulus of fine aggregate as 2.2 to 3.2. Some cases they will be telling us 2.4 to 3.2. Okay, so whatever the thing you should make clear is, if the fineness modulus of the sand or fine aggregate exceeds 3.2 means you cannot use that fine aggregate for making concrete. Okay, the fineness modulus of the fine aggregate should be less than 3.2. That is very important. At the same time, it should be more than 2.2 and less than 3.2. The fineness modulus you have discussed already. Okay, fineness modulus is a measure of fineness in case of fine aggregate, and it's a measure of coarseness in case of coarse aggregate. Okay, so it is a measure of the fineness or coarseness of the aggregate or the material. Okay, it is obtained by adding the cumulative percentages of the aggregate retained on each of the standard sieves you are using. Okay, the standard sieves may be from 80 mm from the top to 15 micron. You see 80 mm they will be using for coarse aggregate. 15 micron and all they will be using for fine aggregate. Okay, they will be giving some numbers also for this sieve pan. So next, what is they are given us? There are 4 different zones. Okay, there are 4 different zones for the aggregate. Okay, zone 1, zone 2, zone 3, zone 4. It is based on the percentage passing. Okay, percentage passing represents the zone 1, zone 2, zone 3 and zone 4. This is in accordance with the IS 383. Okay, IS 383 code is especially meant for aggregates. Just write it down. This is very important. IS 383 is meant for aggregates. Okay, the percentage passing through the sieve represents whether it is a zone 1, zone 2, zone 3 or zone 4. Okay, if it is passing to 15 to 34 mm means it comes under zone 1. Similarly, zone 2, zone 3 and zone 4. Okay, that zone 1 and zone 2 you will be using for making concrete. You have to test the aggregate. Okay, if it comes under zone 1 and zone 2, you may use it for making concrete. If it comes under zone 3 means you should use it only for making plastering work, not for making concrete. You know what is mean by plastering. Okay, and if it is zone 4 means you cannot use that material for construction. Okay, which means zone 3 means for plastering means that zone 3 fine aggregate will be finer, so only they are preferring it for plastering. Okay, so here is the tabular column which shows how to find the finest modulus of coarse aggregate and also the fine aggregate. Okay, there are IS sieve size. Okay, first we are discuss about coarse aggregate. These are the IS sieve size: 80 mm, 40 mm, 20 mm, 10 mm, 4.75 mm. Okay, up to that you are going to discuss about coarse aggregate. Okay, below that, அதாவது above 4.75 mm it is coarse aggregate. Okay, if it is below coarse 4.75 means it comes under fine aggregate. Okay, that 4.75 mm and all defines the particle size of the aggregate. Okay, so how you should find the finest modulus is you have to make first 4 columns. You have to make 5 columns. One column already we have discussed, that is meant for writing the sieve size. Okay, and the second column you should note down the weight retained. Okay, how you should do means you should take a sample. For this they have chosen 15 kg. For coarse aggregate they have taken 15 kg. In the bottom you can see. Okay, in the bottom you can see it is 15 kg. Okay, what they will be doing means first you will be taking the sample and you will be placing it on the top of the sieve you have arranged according to the series given here. Okay, you will be placing 80 mm in the top. Next to the 80 mm you will be placing 40 mm and then 20 mm and then 10 mm. Following that there will be 4.75 mm sieve. This is for coarse aggregate. You will be and below you will be placing the pan. That is also very important. Okay, at the end you will be placing the pan. What you will be doing means you will be shaking that sieve. After shaking, you will be taking the pan separately and you will be measuring the weight. What are all the sample that have been retained on each sieve. So first I am taking 80 mm sieve. When I took the 80 mm sieve, there are no particles retained, so the weight will be obviously 0. And also in 40 mm sieve, no weight retained and the weight will become 0. In 20 mm, the sum of the particles were retained. So I'm just measuring the particles using some weighing machine. The weight is 6 kg. Next in 10 mm, I will be okay. 10 mm la evlo retain irukku abdinu we are taking and measuring. It will be around 5 mm. Sorry, 5 kg. Next 4.75 mm C. I'm taking and I'm measuring the sample that were retained on 4.75 mm C. It is around 4 kg. Okay, then in the third column what you should do is you are making some cumulative weight. First procedure is you should place the sieve according to the sizes given here. Okay, you should place the sieves according to the size. Then you have to place the sample over the sieve on the top of the sieve and you should shake, whether it may be a manual shaking or it may be a mechanical device. Okay, after that what you will be doing is you will be measuring the weight of the particles or the weight of the samples that were retained on each sieve you have chosen. So here I have chosen 5 sieves. One is 80 mm, 40 mm, 20 mm, 10 mm and 4.75 mm. The weight retained on the 80 mm sieve is 0. The sample retained on the 40 mm sieve is also 0. Whereas the number of the weight of the sample that is retained on 20 mm sieve is 6 mm. I will be measuring this weight using the weighing machine. Okay, then coming to 10 mm sieve, there the weight of the particle retained is 5 kg. And for 4.75 mm, 4 kg of the particles were retained. Next, coming to the third column, there what they are given is cumulative weight. Okay, you know what is meant by cumulative. Okay, cumulative means addition. Okay, cumulative means you all know it is the addition of something. So what they are doing is they are going to add this weight and they are writing in this column 0, 0, 0 plus 0 plus 0, 0. What happens then? This 0 plus this 6, 6. 6 plus 5, 11. 11 plus 4, 15. So total kg of sample is arrived. For that only you are doing this. Okay. So total kg of sample is 15 kg. So that is obtained here. Okay. Next what you are going to find is, you are going to find the percentage of this cumulative weight. You are going to find the percentage of this cumulative weight retained. So how you will be making percentage means total weight, the weight you are chosen divided by total weight. Here the total weight is 15 kg. Okay, so first case it will be 0 because there is no cumulative weight, and first and second case it will be 0. Next what you will be doing? 6 by 15. Okay, 6 by 15. Next you will be doing 11 by 15. So the percentage is found here. Cumulative percentage is found here. Next 15 by 15 means it is surely about 100 percentage. 6 by 15 into 100, that is very important. Okay, then only you will get in the percentage value. If it is not, it will be like a 0.4, 0.753, like that it will be there. So you should multiply this value with 100. Okay, so this is how you found. And after this there is nothing, so you will be marking that also as 100. That also as 100 percentage. Now what you should do is, you should add all this cumulative percentage. Okay, you will be adding all this cumulative percentage. This column is meant for cumulative percentage passing. This is cumulative percentage retained. Percentage retained means you on that sieve how much of particles is retained. That shows the retained. Okay, on the same sieve how much particles it is letting it go. There will be one sieve. Okay, now I am choosing this 20 mm sieve. Okay, this 20 mm sieve is allowing 40%, allowing only 60% of the particles to pass through. In this 15 kilo of sample, it is allowing only 60% of the particles to pass through that 20 mm, which means 60% of the particles is finer than 20 mm. Okay, whereas it hold 40% of the particles. This shows in the 15 kg of the sample, 40% of the sample is coarser than 20 mm. This is what they will be asking you some question. They will be giving this table like this. Okay, and they will be asking you a question like if it say for example, this is 10 mm sieve. Okay, can you tell me this 10 mm sieve? Okay, how much percentage of particles will be passing through this 10 mm sieve? You should say this 26.67. That is cumulative percentage passing. That is, it is allowing only 26.7% of the particles to move into that sieve, which means 26.7% of the particles are finer than the 10 mm. That is the meaning for that, because the sieve size is 10 mm. If it is allowing the particle, means the particles will be finer than the 10 mm. Okay, that is the concept. They will be asking how many percentage of the particles are coarser than 10 mm. How many percentage of particles are coarser than 10 mm, and how many percentage of particles are finer than 10 mm in a taken sample of 15 kg. So coarser is this 73.3 because it is retained on the 10 mm sieve. Okay, finer is 26.67. This is the thing you should understand here. Okay, this is also one of the important thing you should understand here. Next, what is given here is you should add all this cumulative percentage retained and it should be divided by 100, which gives the fineness modulus of the coarse aggregate. Okay, for the sample you have chosen. This is done. Okay, next what we are going to discuss is we are going to discuss about the fineness modulus for fine aggregate. Discussing about the fine aggregate, same procedure is being adopted here. For the fine aggregate, we will be choosing the pans, that is the sieve size as 4.75 mm, 2.36 mm, 1.18 mm, okay, and then a 600 micron, 300 micron, 150 micron, and below the 150 micron. These are all the sieve size you are using for finding the fine aggregate. Okay, the same thing you will be repeating. Cumulative weight retained, cumulative percentage weight retained, and you will be finding the cumulative percentage passing through that sieve. You will be arranging the sieve according to the sizes given here. That is, this maximum size will be in the upper portion and the minimum size will be in the lower portion of the series you are arranging. At the bottom, you will be placing the pan to collect the remaining sample that have passed through the sieve size lower than 150 micron. Okay, first what you will be doing, you will be pouring that fine aggregate into that series of sieve. Then you will be shaking either by manually or using some mechanical device. Then what happen means you will be measuring the weight of the sample that is retained on each sieve. Now I am taking this 4.75 mm sieve out of the series, and I will be taking the sample from that sieve and I will be weighing using the nearest weighing machine. It is about 10 gram. Here I have taken only 500 gram. See, for it is here it is coarse aggregate, so I have taken 15 kg. This is only fine aggregate, so I have chosen only 500 gram. That itself differ. Okay, so note it down. So the weight that is retained on the 4.75 mm sieve is just 10 gram, and 2.36 mm retains about 50 gram, and 1.18 mm retains 50 gram. I am repeating this. Okay, I am doing this for all the sieve. Okay, so this is the weight retained in grams on each sieve. Then what you will be doing, you will be finding the cumulative weight. Cumulative, you know, okay, 10 means 10. If it is 0, first case, it will be the same thing. Then you will be adding this 2. 10 plus 50, 60. Then this 3. 10 plus 50 plus 50, 110. Then from this to this 2, 205. Next from here to here. Okay, next from the first one to this place. So you'll be adding from first to the thing you are chosen, to the place you have chosen. So finally it will be around 500 gram. Okay, next what you should do is you should find the percentage for these values. Okay, how you will be making the percentage means you will be putting this value if for okay, we shall take that 10 kg itself. You will be putting percentage only for cumulative weight. That should be very careful. You should not put percentage for this weight retained. You should put percentage only for this cumulative weight. Okay. So this 10 divided by 500 into 100. Okay. This gives the percentage. So that is 2%. First case is discussed. Okay, the same procedure will be adopted. 60 divided by 500 into 100 will give 12%. So I'll be repeating this till the for the rest conditions also. Finally, you will be getting the cumulative percentage passing, and here you will be adding this cumulative percentage retained. Where you will be confused means while making percentage, you should make the percentage only for cumulative weight. Okay, you should make percentage for cumulative weight and not for weight retained. This is also cumulative weight retained only, you will be making the percentage. Next, you should calculate this cumulative percentage passing only to find the fineness or the coarseness of the material. It is not comes under the fineness modulus. Okay, for fineness modulus, you will be adding only the cumulative percentage weight retained. You should add all these values. You will be getting some value that should be divided by 100 again. That gives the fineness modulus of the fine aggregate. Here also, you should be clear about one thing. Now the question will be like this. Okay, say let me take this 1.18 mm sieve. The question will be, how much percentage of particles is coarser than 1.18 mm. And how many percentage of particles are finer than 1.18 mm? Okay, you should check here. So you should come here. Okay. So this is the percentage retained, which means 22% of the particles are finer than 1.18 mm. Sorry, coarser than 1.18 mm. 78% of the particles are 78% of the particles are finer than the 1.18 mm C. Okay, if you add these two values, it will give 100, because you can say that this is with this is with respect to any one size. Okay, so 22% of particles were passing through that sieve. Sorry, it is retaining over that sieve, whereas 78% of the remaining particles are passing. That is the concept. That is so this both value, when you add this both value, it will give 100. Here also it happens. Here also, if you add the 73.3 and 26.67, it will give 100. So 60 plus 40, you all know it is also 100. So this is also very important. So you should note all these things. This is how you will be finding the value of fineness modulus, and also you can answer whether the particle is how many percentage of particles is finer than given or specified sieve size. Okay, so that up to this it's over. So we have discussed about the grading of aggregate, and we have found how to find the grading of aggregate and fineness modulus using the sieve analysis test. Okay, thanks for watching. Thank you all.